Hello and welcome back to the Scroll Soup Elder Scrolls lore series. In this episode we will be covering the major events of the Merethic Era, or the Era of Elves in the common tongue. Beginning with ME 2500 and ending with Year 0 of the First Era, this age of myth laid the foundations for many of the empires and conflicts that we will cover in the more recent history of Tamriel. For the Aldmer of this time, Aldmeris was a memory even still in the minds of some elders, and lesser gods still walked among the people of the Somerset Isles. In one of many journeys attempting to rediscover their long-lost homeland, Topal the pilot would inadvertently discover Tamriel, which by my own reckoning is Aldmeris. This is only my headcanon, which I will try to justify in a later video. Tamriel, or Dawn's Beauty, was circumnavigated by Topal on his ship the Niben, from its first sighting at what we now call High Rock, all the way around to Morrowind, then Blackmarsh, and eventually the Topal Bay, named after the legendary sailor. Following up the river Niben, the ship encountered Khajiit ancestors along the coast of Elsewhere, and eventually avian folk along the shores of modern-day Cyrodiil in the jungles. That's right, at this time Cyrodiil was a jungle, though technically also not due to the machinations of a certain emperor-turned-god. In possibly the greatest trade deal of all time, the islands in the centre of Lake Rumair were purchased for the small fee of teaching the bird people the speech and writing of the elves. We do not know what came of the bird folk, as there is no documentation of them after this point. Maybe Talos deleted them from existence along with the jungles. After several years, Mer would start migrating to mainland Tamriel. The Dureni would settle on the Isle of Balfiera, along with the Aldmer ancestors of the Aelids settling in Cyrodiil. It is alleged that the Bosmer would have migrated at this time too, but I would posit that they were there already, and native to Tamriel at the time, much like the Falmer Snow Elves and Dwemer Deep Elves. The Dureni would settle around the Adamantine Tower, the same tower created by the gods, while the Aelid settlers would build the White Gold Tower in emulation at their capital city on Lake Rumair. The Aldmer back in Somerset would construct the Crystal Tower around this time. Also around this time, the Velothi, a dissident Daedra-worshipping group on Somerset, would try to leave for the land of Resdain, led by the prophet Veloth and his patrons Boethia, Mephala, and Azura. Trinimac, the very same god who defeated Lorkhan in battle, and his followers would challenge this group for their right to leave, which would lead to Trinimac being devoured, and how should I say, expelled from Boethia, as his new form, Malakath, the Daedric prince of the Spurned. His followers would become the Orcs, or Orsimer, and flee to Skyrim and the Rothgarian mountains. Over time, the elven races would diversify away from each other, leading to the Aelids and Chimer differing from the Althmer, the natives of Somerset and Balfiera. Nedic humans would begin to arrive in Tamriel around this time, and the Aelids would jump at the opportunity to upgrade from goblins to human slaves. The Dureni elves would begin to interbreed with their Nedic stock, leading to the creation of the Breton race. The Nords from Atmora would arrive in the mid-Merethic, led by Ysgramor, a legendary warrior. They lived peacefully alongside the Falmer until they attacked the city of Sarthal after a relic was discovered there. The only survivors, Ysgramor and his sons, would return years later with 500 companions, and would drive the Falmer underground as slaves to the Dwemer. This would be the first Nordic empire, though much of Skyrim was still yet to be settled by men. Around this time, the dragon cult would stop being worshipped, replaced instead by the traditional Nordic pantheon, focused on the worship of Shor, or as we have called him previously, Lorkhan. For clarification in future videos, we will likely call the Nords of this time Atmorans, which is technically the correct term for them, as the modern Nords incorporate a small amount of Nedic blood in their gene pool. The Merethic era would end with the birth of the Cameron dynasty in Valenwood, one of the longest standing empires on Tamriel. In the next episode we will discuss the events of the First Era, when hopefully things will start to get more familiar for a lot of you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. If you really enjoyed the video, check out our podcasts, which are available here on YouTube and on all the places where you can get podcasts, really, except for Apple, because it's a lot of effort to get it on there, and I don't want to do that, to be honest. Again, thanks for watching, and we will see you again very soon.